think it's very truthful to Jose Maria to say, okay, well, let's make a movie about life. So I thought, well, okay, then what I should do is literally plunge Jose Maria's views, his expressions, into life and do what he said, and make a movie about living people, suffering and living everyday life, and in fact life in a civil war. I mean, I spent a lot of time thinking about, well, how does one make a story about a saint? And I realized that the film's protagonist is Christ.
These two characters, Jose Maria and Manolo, as they go through their lives and they're presented with the kind of adversity that they were, we're shown how one of them is able to act and deal with people from a place of love and kindness and forgiveness and tolerance and patience and all those spiritual principles that we have to face and deal with and learn to use in everyday life. And then opposed to that is the character who fails repeatedly to implement them into his life.
These are the same man. And they're the same man in a way that there would be elements unexpressed of Jose Maria in Manolo, otherwise there'd have been no pain. There would be elements of Manolo unexpressed in Jose Maria, or there'd have been no doubt, and there'd have been no struggle. But I specifically wanted them separate because actually I think that's how it happens in life.
You can see yourself in both of those people. I think all of us have the ability to be Jose Maria-like at times in our life, and we all have Manolo in us as well.
We all have this connection that we can either access or we can let go to waste. And I think, I hope that's something that people take from the film, because it's really important to me. I know that that's something I experience. I know there's things that at times I feel like I can't be forgiven for. I can't imagine a spiritual being inside this who has done that. We are. We were created to make mistakes, but we were created to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes.
I remember sitting with one man who had known Jose Maria, and he said, let's hope that they find his strength of character.
Our faith is a gift, and God has called us to manifest it in love, here on earth. Unwavering love for every child of God, no matter who it is, no matter what side, no matter what circumstances.
Even if they are wrong.
Yes, Juan! Even if they are wrong.
It would seem his faith is so strong. His belief in God and God's love for all of us, for his children, is so strong that he doesn't pity anyone.
I think that Jose Maria, without being kind of ecumenical in a fashionable way, would have said every human being is a child of God, a God that he loved deeply. And therefore he would say every human being is worthy of this love.
God's world is so full of goodness. If we do them for love, each daily task can give him glory. Small but regular acts of love between husbands and wives, between friends, between strangers, each revealing the beauty of his creation.
It all seems rather Protestant.
And I think that shows such strength. It made writing this in a way quite easy, because that was something I respected very much.
I think we all know love is the most powerful. I think that we all know that that's the healer. And I think a large part of love, and I do believe a large part of love, if not the biggest part of love, is the ability to forgive.
Forgiveness is a huge part of this film. But the funny thing about forgiveness is actually a selfish thing in many ways. In a wonderful way, it's a selfish thing, because when you resent someone, when you have hatred in your heart for someone, that hatred is in you, it's not in them. It's in you. It's in you. The reason we must forgive people, anyone, everyone, is because it's you who's going to suffer if you don't.
As an actor, you get these moments where you get to kind of like sneak into a moment of your life. Maybe I snuck into a moment and saw, if I was on my deathbed, what are the things that I hope I can be forgiven for? And if I know that now, can't I stop myself from making more mistakes?
I suppose I would say I seem, to my big surprise, to be given a talent. It's not really mine, that I would like to use in such a way that somewhere, some human beings watching what I do will feel a sense of joy, a sense of unity, a sense of comfort, and a sense that actually they're not alone in the world, and that though there is a deal of suffering in this material world that we live in, there's a deal of other great human things, and if we share those, that's something to be thankful for.
We're being very ambitious.
Estamos siendo muy ambiciosos.
Thank God.
Gracias a Dios.
It's an extraordinary concept. The spiritual principles that underlie what it is are really beautiful.
How one might go beyond the ego, or how one might transcend, you know, the human flaws that we all have.
I really think anybody really could find something in this story that they could identify with.
What I wanted is for people to identify the Jose Maria in themselves. This is something that you have to go for. You have to really go for it. You have to seek it. And in seeking, the idea being that in seeking, God will reveal himself to you. That is where faith grows, right? So that it's not just like some moment where suddenly, you know, a miracle happens and you suddenly believe, but it's our job to invite God into your life. I heard someone once say, I don't know where I heard it, and it was nothing to do with the film, but I heard someone once say, God will never do anything for you that you won't let him do. And I just thought, that's really interesting. That's interesting, you know. So you have to ask.